Hi, hello.
Yeah,
Is this Praise?
yeah, I just
Hey, Praise. This is
coming.
Tommy Bryson. How are you? This call can be
Oh,
recorded and potentially uploaded. Okay, so how can I help?
um, um, thank you for calling. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad you called me. I've just wanted to know how I can add um channels that can help me boost up my YouTube um sales, like make
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to use other people's video, like, and I don't know how to go about it. I can just download the video, upload it, and get banned. So I have also found ways to add new channel to my channel, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't find a place to, like, when I go to my settings, I can't find any link to like opening in adding a new channel. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit confused. I've watched YouTube videos on how to do it. I've tried, but I didn't get it right. So, and I know I've watched a lot of your videos, and I know you have taught us a lot of things. So I felt like you'll be the best person to maybe put me through, if that's possible,
All right, so here's what it
or tell
sounds
me
like
how
to
to
me,
go
right?
about it.
It sounds like you, Praise, you want to learn how to basically make money from YouTube by using other people's content and then monetizing your channel, right?
Yes, please.
Now, the big thing is that basically, if you do this, you have to understand that there is competition and there is nothing that
Okay.
makes you stand out. So it makes it very hard to create, for example, a solid audience because they can't subscribe to Praise. They're subscribing, for example, to other channel you're actually doing. Some people do it very well, some people don't. So the first step that I would take is basically to do this whole concept is I would grab the top 10 channels in your niche and I would see exactly what they're doing that I need to do also to kind of simulate their success. So how often do they post? What do they post about? What are their subscribers actually saying in the comments? Like what do they want to see? How are their videos? Like how long are they? What are their topics about? Are they more consistent on the times? You're just making, for example, like content that can last like a long time, right? So it's just
Okay.
basically analyzing your competition. So if you're gonna do, for example, let's say I want to make content about technology, right? Like technology presentations or whatever, like best technology or whatever. You can look up the competition, you see exactly what they're doing, and you basically say, okay, I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna use that, I'm gonna use this technique and this technique. Now, you don't get banned from YouTube if you use the right type of content. So whenever you search something on YouTube, for example, best technology of 2021, and you click, for example, on the filter and you go down to where it says Creative Commons. What Creative Commons means is basically it gives you free licensing. Meaning, for example, you can reuse that video without the uploader having any right to basically like have the monetization be taken away from you or anything like that. So that way you should be solid as long as you use Creative Commons or, for example, just videos that are free to use. You can find those also on other websites online like Pexels, Pexel. Now, once you find these Creative Commons videos, the goal is to keep uploading it and uploading it and uploading it. But again, you're just re-uploading content that already exists. So it's kind of like your channel has to catch fire through one or two videos and then it builds up. But if you start to kind of like add audio, your personality to those videos and like edit them a little bit, it increases the chances even further. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
So
does.
that, yeah. So if you can get, for
But
example, some free editing software to learn how to edit.
I did download Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
There's you can use whatever you can. It doesn't really matter. It's just about basically editing to give it personality. Whether you use what's it called? What is it called? Canvas?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the green product that for presentations.
Yeah, it does edit
I,
videos, presentations,
yeah, I think I used
create
it
book
before.
covers
Yeah.
and stuff.
So it's a
But
pretty good product.
do you have any other app that I can use?
For what? To edit?
Yeah.
Is it confusing you?
No app you can use to edit your videos.
Or like an
And I
app?
don't know how to do those thumbnails. Should I contract it to someone in Fiverr?
You can do it that way, or you can just go on YouTube and type in how to do thumbnails, and you can learn on your own, right? That's
Oh,
one
okay.
way. Or you can just go to Google and type in create thumbnail, right? And they'll
Oh,
teach
okay.
you. And there's also websites that can help you build those thumbnails. So that'll be fine. That's not that complicated. But those are the
Okay.
big things. You have the videos that you download that are Creative Commons, so that way you're good to go. You can edit the content and make it your own. That way you can actually have a soul behind your content, so people actually connect with it. And you compare
Okay.
competition to see exactly what you can do. Now, as far as like adding channels, it's pretty simple. When you click the little logo on your face all the way at the top, don't click your channel, don't click memberships, don't click YouTube Studio, don't click switch accounts, don't click sign off. You have to go all the way down where it says basically settings, right? When you click settings, it'll take you to your account, right? Your account settings. And from there, you can basically add a channel. That's how you
I've,
get it done.
I've tried. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm right here in my settings. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
in my settings, I have get YouTube, purchase and membership, general autoplay, video quality preferences, notification, connected apps, history, privacy, uploads,
Okay, you see where it
like,
says accounts?
huh?
Where it says accounts, it says setting, where below that it said account.
Uploads. That's what is there.
So you don't see
Should I?
settings and then account, the notifications?
I see. Okay, hold on. Sorry.
You're not supposed to be on the studio, right? Because those are not the settings you're supposed to be on. So it's not like you click like YouTube Studio and then you click the settings over there. That's not what I want you to do, because those settings are different. What you're
So
supposed to
where do
do,
I go?
okay.
Where?
So
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do is go where it says, for example, you click the little face on yourself all the way at the top right next to create. You see that?
Oh, I clicked my face. Should I?
Okay, just go to youtube.com. You click your face at the top right, I think it is, and then you scroll
Yes.
down to where it says settings, all the way on the bottom, basically. Not to YouTube Studio. That's how you add channels. But again, just start with one channel, get really good at it, and then you can start adding more and more channels.
I already have a channel on. God. I already have a channel on YouTube. Okay, I have a channel, and I've been posting videos. But I want to add like a new channel to the one I have.
Yeah, so to do that, go to
How do I do
youtube.com.
that?
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
listen. Go to youtube.com. Are you
Should
there?
I type on the? Should I go to YouTube as in the app or?
It's only on the computer you can do this.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can do this from my iPad.
I don't think you can. I haven't seen that setting on my iPad. So unless you go, for example, Safari,
Oh.
and then you go to show me as a desktop, and then it might be able just download Chrome on your iPad, and then
Okay.
you click the settings on Chrome, and you click, for example, show me desktop version of website, and then it should let you do it. But the core idea is you go to YouTube, and then you click on your little face on the top, and you scroll all the way down to settings. That's all you're doing. You're not clicking on, for
Okay.
example, like YouTube Studio. No, not those settings. It's the one
Oh,
on
okay.
that. Sorry. When you click there, you'll see accounts, and it'll allow you to basically to add or manage your channels. So you can basically manage multiple channels, or for example, you can basically do whatever you want over there. Okay.
Okay, okay. So I have been doing it in the wrong, like doing it wrongly because I've
Yeah.
been using my phone, my iPad. I've never used a laptop. So
Do
I'm
you
going
own
to
a
try
computer?
that today. You said?
Do you own a computer?
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Just try it. Maybe if you don't have if anything, just download Chrome on your iPad. You know what Chrome is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you can just download Chrome, and then Chrome has a setting. Instead of showing you the iPad version of the website, it shows you the desktop version of it. So if you click that setting on Chrome, you can look it up on YouTube or Google how to do it. It'll show you the exact desktop version on your iPad, and that way you'll be able to do it from there also, potentially.
Okay, can we go through the process again, please? Sorry.
Yeah.
Through
So
the process of
what
the
process?
setting.
Yeah, so all you do is, I mean, that's pretty Google worthy, right? So you can Google that, but it's just like you click your face on the top right, and then you click settings,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. And you can add a channel right there. But you need to be on the desktop version of the website. Okay?
Okay. Okay. My second question will be, do you need to be a premium member for you to download videos? Because sometimes when I click download, they just tell me to pay for the membership, premium member.
YouTube doesn't let you download videos. So in order to download videos, you can't do it directly through YouTube. What you need to do is basically you go on Google and you type in, for example, download YouTube video URL. And then that allows you to plug in the URL of a YouTube video and then download it through that website. A lot of these things, you're probably going to need to do it with a laptop.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And that's how you basically download that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's how you basically are able to download videos. It's okay. This isn't like nobody teaches you how to do this stuff, so it's okay. You should have these questions.
No, it's so complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying hard to just do some side hustle because I work and my salary is so small.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you do for work?
Patient care associate in hospital.
Okay. What are you trying to do? You trying to have some passive income coming in?
Yeah, because I'm just like from paycheck to paycheck. I'm exhausted.
Well, more money
you know?
more money is not going to solve that. Praise.
You said?
More money is not going to solve paycheck to paycheck. What solves that is having control over your finances, right? So I highly recommend when you're trying to build this other income stream is that you get a hold of your money. So you make a budget. So your budget is you have your income and then you have your expenses. Your expenses when you're broke are only going to be 4 things. It's going to be shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Everything else you cut it out. And then you follow the steps, right? The steps are you save $1,000 for emergencies and you start paying off all your debts using the avalanche method. But if you can't handle a small amount of money, you won't be able to handle a large amount of money because you'll be putting it through the same system.
I tried. Okay, this is the deal. My paycheck, if I put everything in a month, like every 2 weeks you get paid, right? Everything in a month is like 1,000. If I work overtime, like 1,900. Okay.
$1,900. Okay. What's your shelter?
1,900 in a month. That's my paycheck.
Okay. What's your shelter cost? How much do you pay for rent?
Oh, right now I'm not paying no rent because what I do is I split my salary in 2. Okay. How do I put it? My husband does pay the rent. The house is not. It's like a mortgage that you have to pay every month. So
the house is a mortgage or is the house a rental?
It's not a rental.
You guys own the house?
Yes.
Okay. So you split your finances and then your husband grabs the money and then he pays the bills?
Yeah, this is the arrangement. I split my salary in 2. And first salary is like maybe 900 or 800 and something if I don't do overtime. And then from there I pay for my car, my phone, the rent, and that's my support every month. So the other 800, I'm African. I'm sorry, but I have other bills too. I have to send back home. So let's say at the end of the day, I have like basically 500 to myself every month. And that's where I do my personal shopping, like buy things I really need for myself. And then I invest. I did start investing little by little I started with cash.
Okay, let me stop you there, all right? here's what it sounds like, right? You and your husband have a system. Um, it might not be the best system, but you have a system at least, which is basically you give him half the money and he pays extra towards the mortgage. Is that it? Or are you guys paying
Yes,
whatever is it extra money
we
towards the
pay all
mortgage?
bills, all the bills,
All the
all
bills. Okay. So half
like
of your
house,
salary and then
food. Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I teach and what I do personally is that if I'm married, there's no half and half. There's just whole. So whatever you make and whatever I make, we throw it in a pot, and then from then on, we decide exactly what we're gonna do with that money. In your case, I understand the whole African culture because I'm also, for example, my Hispanic culture. We also send money back to our family on this stuff, right? However, if you are drowning, you can't help anybody else. And in your case, at least right now, you're not drowning, so that's great. So you're able to do that. But the big thing is to say like, okay, so you have $500 left to yourself, you invest a little, then you spend the rest. That's not really what's supposed to be happening here. So you have four main bills. You have shelter, utilities, groceries, transportation. If you have a car and you're paying a monthly payment on it, how much do you pay per month in this car?
$278.
$278. So this
Yeah,
is how much is the car worth?
$15,000.
Okay. So the first rule is usually you want to buy used cars, and you don't want to buy
This
a
is
car that's
used.
so expensive because this is
This
used
one
but
is
very
used.
expensive, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
so that means, for example, if I were you and I were trying to get a hold of my finances, the first thing I would do is I would try to get my husband and I on the same page as far as like what we actually want to do, all right? Because it's important. Because if you guys are a team, then you're able to accomplish things a lot more faster. It's just that simple. So, shelter costs, right? I pay half, you pay half, or whatever it is. Okay, that's fine. Utilities, okay, we use that money, half of that to actually pay that. You have groceries. Well, the half of your income goes to that also, right? So that's also taken care of, right?
Mm.
And then you have transportation, the car. If a car costs me $15,000, but I have net income of $500 per month, that means that car is too expensive for me. That car is it taking you from point A to point B, right? You're not doing anything for work with that
They
car, right?
they taking it. No, that's what I use to move around, like walk and. The deal is the 800. The car bill is from the 800. That car bill, everything is in that money.
Oh, everything is in, yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you need it though, right? So what I would personally do is, right, because you're here and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I would do because I want the best for you, is if I have a $15,000 and I have your income of $2,000 per month or a little lower, I would not buy a $15,000 car. So I'd consider right now is a selling market for cars. I would consider selling the car and buying a $5,000 car for cash. That's what I would personally do. And that car would take me from point A to point B and everything would just be fine. Before I buy the car, I take it to Advanced Auto Parts, I get it checked out, make sure the car is in good condition and it's gonna last me a good amount of time. And then the rest of my money, I'm going to start basically either I'm gonna start investing around 10-20% of my money, and then the rest of the money, I'm gonna start putting it towards my mortgage to finish off even faster. Now, one thing is if you're helping out your family, I understand that. But if you are drowning and you're really can't take care of your family, you won't really be able to take care of them that well. So I would make a budget for that. So if you're gonna send them money, make it fixed. So you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna send you guys 5% or 10% of whatever I make. There you go. I can't go over that because I also live here. I have my husband here. You have kids, Praise?
No, not yet.
Okay, we have your husband and you guys are there together and you're trying to buy this home. Because if you guys imagine a life where you have no mortgage, you have no car payment, you have a full blown emergency account, and you also have a lot of money in investments. It's a lot better than what's going on right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the big thing is that if you're able to do YouTube right now to try to make income, YouTube is great, right? But it's something that's not guaranteed. So if you want to add income to basically get you working a little bit more and so on, I'd probably take it like a second job, like a second part-time job or whatever it is. And then do YouTube on the weekend because that type of video content is very simple to do. With 2 days on the weekend, you can make content for like the next 2-3 weeks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do hair and makeup.
Is it consistent?
Uh, Sometimes, yeah. Like yesterday, I went to work. I worked 12 hours. I do night, 7 to 7, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I do 3 days in a week.
Awesome. So it's a little bit
The,
consistent.
yeah, yeah. So the
What do you do with
first,
that
the
money? Do you
first,
split it with you split it with your husband too?
you said no. I just save it.
Okay, good.
I actually am in Robinhood. I started my first trading with Cash App. I still have trading with Cash App. I do crypto. I do because that's the only way
You
I can
gotta
save my money.
you gotta slow down. Okay? You gotta slow down. Because when you make the money that you make, you're not making a lot of money. And your money is based on time. So you work X, you make X. So when you lose money, you're losing your time also. Right? You can make more money, but you can't get back your time. So you have to have a plan in motion. I don't do crypto. I don't pick stocks because it's very complicated to actually do. So what I would recommend is if you want to invest money for retirement, to have money there in the future, I recommend index funds. I recommend ETFs. So if
Okay,
you
hold on. Index fund.
yeah, index
Yeah.
funds and ETFs. So
Okay.
that means, for example, by the way, an index fund is basically a fund that's made out of, for example, a bunch of other stocks. So if one
Mhm.
stock goes down, it doesn't matter because there's a bunch of them in there, right? It's like a bubble of a bunch
Okay.
of them. So it kind of lowers your risk. But the point is, if you want
Okay.
to invest the exact same way I invest, there's a there and all my videos on YouTube. Click the latest one. The description, there's going to be a link to M1 Finance. When you click that link right there, it shows you exactly what I invest into. You can use that
Really?
portfolio. Yeah, you can use that
Oh my
portfolio.
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's right there. You can use that portfolio to open up a Roth IRA with M1 Finance, and you start investing in there. So you can invest anywhere from 10% of what you make. But the point is, I wouldn't invest right now until I have, for example, a full-blown emergency account, until I'm debt-free, everything except the mortgage. So the
Did
car, the
you,
credit
let
card,
me
and
tell
all.
you,
Go ahead.
I want to tell you something. I came to America 2018, okay,
Okay,
August. I have not been in America for a long time.
that's
and,
okay.
and secondly, this house was bought before I got here. And
Oh, I
right now,
see.
my husband, my name is not in the house yet, okay?
Will he do
My,
it?
my, my name is not in this apartment yet. He's paying the bill. I just told him, this is the deal. First, when you get married, you have to do that with understanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
I set we set the rules. Like this is my contribution every month, whatever I'm working. If I make more money, and then I can start putting more income. He makes more money than I do, but
Okay,
the
but
deal.
you have to understand this, right? This is a very bad concept. Not a good idea here. Here's why it's not a good idea. Because you guys are acting as individuals, as not as a team. That's the problem here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if you have, for example, it's kind of like, imagine you and me are on a boat, right? Or you and your husband are on a boat, and he's
Mhm.
paddling one way, and then you're paddling one way. What happens with the boat? It stays in the same place. Or, for example, imagine if you're on the same boat, you paddle sometimes, he paddles sometimes, right? And
Mhm.
if you both paddle at the same time, you get to wherever you're gonna get faster. You're a team. You're married, right? That's the point there. Now,
Yes, but marriage is all about understanding. If, for example, he's not on the same page with me, let me give you an example. If we are married,
mm-hmm,
I'm supposed to be like added to this
the
mortgage,
deed.
right? Like added,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and I go to work. He cannot drive me to work and something like that. When we got this car, it was through the bank, through our bank. So
Mm-hmm.
our bank paid for the car, and then we negotiated. I paid 270 every month.
Mm-hmm. The thing
Okay,
is, he's acting as an individual, right?
but I cannot
And then
change
since you don't
him.
have
That's the
and then
thing.
since you don't have, for example, a level of trust with that, then you're also just being like, okay, I'll do that, but I won't basically be all involved because you're not all involved. I understand that. But that comes down, for example,
My
to a
my bone of my
listen.
bone of contention right now is for me to be able to be financially stable enough, okay, to get things going. And right now, for me, I'm looking at all the means like side gig. I've watched
Mm-hmm.
a lot of webinars, videos, and
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, they are telling you to pay like uh, the minimum I think I've seen is like $900 and something dollars, almost $1,000, which I don't have. And
How much money do you have, Praise?
in my account,
Yeah.
no, I don't have money
Okay, then you
because
have a
that
spending problem, is what I'm telling you, because you're telling me you have left $500 after you're done doing everything you're doing, and you don't have any
yes,
money.
but but the deal is that's what I'm telling you. In a month, I told you that I invest my money, okay, and the only way I can save my money is to multiply, is to invest the money that I'm making, okay, and then the other one is when that $500 is with me, that is where I spend for myself.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah,
buy
okay.
things I
Let me
need
tell
for
you why that
myself.
happens. Let me tell you why that happens. It does not happen because you're bad at saving money or because you have a control issue. It happens because your money does not have a name, because it doesn't have a job, it doesn't have a purpose, so you go ahead and you spend it. Now, it makes no sense for you to grab your money and throw it in an ocean or in a hole and then pray to God that it comes back out. Because when you're investing the incorrect way without knowing what you're doing, that's what you're doing. You're putting your money at risk. So what you need is
Okay,
a better system. It means, for
all right.
example, money has 6 jobs. You have emergencies, right? So you should have money for emergencies. If your husband passes away, God forbid, you'll need money for that stuff. Or if he breaks a leg or you break a leg, you'll need money for that stuff. Then you have investments. You can invest 10, 20%, but you're in debt still. So I really don't recommend you invest just yet. And then you have, for example, debt payments. That's also a job for money. Then you have expenses. Then you have fun. Then you have charity, right? Those are the 6 jobs for money. Every single dollar has a job, and every single one of those jobs has to be done to the best of the abilities. So that means if you're going to be saving for emergencies, you put $1,000 aside for that while you focus on paying off your debts, including, for example,
Okay.
your car, your credit cards, and everything like that. Now, let me tell you something, right? Here's what I've noticed here. I cannot make a judgment call on your marriage. I've spoken to you for the past like 28 minutes. I just don't know your entire life, so it wouldn't be fair for me to say anything about your husband like that. But what the one thing I can say is basically, I would sit down, have a conversation, consider marriage counseling, get on the same page together. Working together is going to be a lot better than working as individuals. Because how are you supposed to, for example, form a foundation? Like, say, for example, oh, I want to start saving and investing all this stuff. You're doing that. But then what happens when it's time for you to start, like get to the third step, which is basically pay down the mortgage? You're not going to pay down the mortgage because you don't, because it's not in your name. So you got to get a conversation going with your husband to get on the same page, because marriage is supposed to be forever. So I recommend you don't have this issue forever. I recommend you have these hard conversations now. Like, hey, honey, what's going on with the mortgage thing? Like, why am I not there? Like, if something happens to you, do you know how complicated it's going to be to actually transfer this document or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Like, have a conversation about these things. It's important. Get on the same page with money. It's important.
Mm.
Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So if I were you, Praise, my first step would be write down on paper exactly what you want from this marriage, and you start telling your husband exactly what you want. Because sometimes people just don't know exactly what you want until you tell them. On top of that, I would stop investing the way I'm investing, because you probably don't know what you're doing. Look into index funds, into the portfolio that I invest into. And if you want to copy it, put the money into a Roth IRA. You only invest 10, 20% after you are debt free and after you have a full blown emergency account. That means 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Because if you don't do that, and you're paying, for example, the car company like 10% or 8%, and the credit card company 18%, 24%, it just cancels out whatever you make. And if you pay your debts, but then you don't have an emergency account, and then you break a leg or one of your family members dies in Africa and you send money over, you're gonna have to dig into your investments. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
not what I want you to do. I want you to have that foundation. This is the foundation. I'm giving it to you right now. For right now, YouTube, you can do it, right? But pick one thing and lock into it and do it, for example, on the weekends. During the week, you keep doing your hair stuff, you keep doing your the other job, and you put this money through this funnel. I'm gonna start paying off my car. I'm gonna start paying off my credit cards. The method I use to pay off my debt is called the avalanche method. You pay the debt that's the most expensive. That debt is gonna be the one that charges you the most interest. Does that make sense?
The most expensive debt I have is the car, and that's what I pay that every month. I think
Well,
I've paid like
some things you pay, and then some things you sell. That car, I would sell the heck out of it. That's what I would do. I would sell the heck out of that car, cut my losses and my differences, and then basically just buy a used vehicle. What did you drive before you came to the United States?
for me.
Yeah, you.
I had two cars in Nigeria. I sold Toyota Corolla,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a business car because I had a business back in Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
before I came here.
What do you drive now?
And then Toyota RAV4, 2015.
It's an expensive car right now, right?
That's
Now-
the only big car we have. If we have to move things in this house, like stuff, that's the
Yeah,
only
but
car
if
in this house that
here's
we
the
can
thing,
use.
right? Here's the thing. Let me pause you there. If I told you I'm gonna buy something that costs $10,000 more than another car for $5,000 to be able to move things, you can easily just rent out a little truck from a moving company whenever you need to move anything. Don't use that as an excuse. It's gonna cost you $15,000. Think about that number. Whenever you want to move anything, guess what you do? You haul it into a little truck. Those trucks are like what, like $20 per hour or whatever it is? You'd use that.
No,
That's
they
it.
don't. They
Yeah, the
take
moving
more
trucks.
than that.
But-
In New York,
I lived
They
in New
don't.
York, so I'm telling you what it is. I think it's like
Okay.
per mile they charge you something, but it's not that expensive. And you're probably not moving things out every single day, are you?
not really.
Yeah, so you don't need that car. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not saying you can't have the things you want in life. What I'm saying is, what it looks like right now is that it's just too expensive. So if you can take care of that and then pay, you have any credit card debt and personal loan debt?
Just one Macy's, and it's like $460.
Yeah.
That's the only credit I
So
have.
I
I
probably
have
Go ahead.
Home Depot. I have Macy's. Those are the two credit cards I have. And Home Depot, that's because I do a lot of fixing in the house, like painting, replacement. So I use Home Depot.
Okay.
Just buy
So-
the things and do the DIY by myself. And
That's
then
awesome.
for restaurant, for Macy's, is for when I need clothes, when I need some household things, I can. But that's the only debt I have.
Okay.
For 400 and something. I pay
Now-
my debt.
So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna stop that. When you want to buy something, you pay cash for it. So whatever debt you have right now on those credit cards, you pay them. It's the most expensive ones. Once you pay the credit cards off, you cut them, and then you put a small bill on them. For example, your internet bill, your phone bill. Each bill on every one of them, and then basically you pay it off in full every single month. That way you maintain credit, but you stop going into debt. Whenever you're gonna buy
Okay.
something, you pay cash for it. Okay. The car, you decide, right? Because it's up to you. I have a 2015 RAV4. I have, for perspective, I make around $250,000 per year, and I drive a Toyota Prius 2014. That car in New York costs around $6,000 cash.
And
When
we
I-
didn't have cash.
When I
Anyway, we didn't have cash. Even if I have to sell this one, I don't think the value is going to be the same $15,000.
You got to check
It's
because
gonna
right
be
now
less.
what's happening right now is they have a car shortage. So a lot of cars are going for more than they're actually used to be worth. So you want to look into that. If you can potentially sell this car and cut your losses and buy a little hoopty for like $2,000, $3,000 temporarily, you can do that.
Okay.
But it's hard, right? It sounds simple. Sell my car, but it's hard because now you're gonna go from this RAV4 to like a little hoopty, and it's a big difference, And having hard conversations is gonna be hard also. But the things in life that you've made a lot of sacrifices. You left Nigeria, your family's over there, everyone's over there, and now you're there. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of sacrifices. What I want you to do is, by the way, how much does that house cost? The ones you guys have in New York?
My husband bought it $200,000, and
It's a
that was like,
house?
it's a house.
Wow, that's awesome. You guys live
Yeah,
where? You guys live where?
Albany.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Albany. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, and then okay. Do you know how much your husband makes?
A month, let's say like $4,000.
$4,000, and then you make $2,000 if you get, for example, some
I
side
make
jobs.
less than $2,000.
You
In
make
my
nineteen hundred
regular
dollars, right?
in my regular salary is just less than $2,000. If you have to,
But you have the other hair thing, right? So that's around $2,000.
yes, but I don't have customers all the time.
So when you don't have customers, you go out there and you do Uber Eats or deliver pizzas.
Okay. Oh, but you okay? Okay.
Okay, there's a way to get it.
Okay.
All right. So now you
Okay,
have
so I can
six
do that
thousand
within. I
dollars.
can do that within my locality because I don't know. I don't know a lot of the a lot of areas around here. So sometimes that's my phobia. I really get scared, like going to a very driving and breaking the rules. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The more you
All
do
these
it,
road
the
signs.
better you'll get.
Yeah, I have to. I have to do that. Like,
But
yeah, that's a good one. I have to do
the
that.
big thing is that I probably wouldn't do Uber Eats with a car I might have to sell, right? Because you don't want to put too many miles in that car. So you decide. This is why this is the conversation that you got. I spoke to somebody. I think their name was Olanji, and it's a great couple. And when they called me, they were both on the phone because they both need to be in agreement on these things. So it's important you have this conversation with your husband, and I
My
promise you.
husband is difficult. I'm telling you, I don't want to get
I know.
myself. I
I
am
know.
telling you the truth. I don't want to get things complicated. I have told him, let's live on a budget. Let's uh, put things together. He's
That's
not
not.
willing to do that, and I cannot force
Mm-hmm.
him.
Yeah, I understand that.
I can't force my opinion on him because that is going to be causing dispute in my marriage, and I don't
Yeah.
want that. I just
Okay.
want peace, So when he sees that things are going good for me and he sees that the decision I'm making is really helping, then that would convince him to change his mind.
I don't.
Because
I don't. I don't think that's
generally,
gonna
I'm
work.
sorry, men are very difficult people. I'm
I
sorry,
know that.
generally.
My friends are.
Yeah.
I have some
So,
friends that are Nigerian. I know the culture. But let me tell you something, right? You're right about one thing. You can't change anybody's mind. However, this is your husband. So even if he's a difficult person, as long as there's not like any violence involved or anything crazy going on,
no,
you
no,
should
no.
you should be able to talk to him, no matter how complicated he is. Hey, I want to talk to you about this. You keep mentioning it. You keep mentioning it. Because it's important to you. It's important to you. It has to
What
be
about
important
if
to
he
him.
gets irritated?
It
Like,
has.
okay, please, I've heard you. You said it once. You said it twice. I heard. I'm going to think about it. And then, like 2, 3 months, he's still thinking about it. 4 months, he's still thinking about it. So what do you do?
It's gonna be marriage counseling for you guys, and it can only work
Oh my
if
God.
if he's open to it, and if he's not open to it, then you gotta go personally to figure out exactly how you're gonna deal with his reaction to things. Don't be afraid of marriage counseling, because it's important because it gives you things that I'm in pre-marriage counseling for me and my fiance before we get married, because it gives you the tools so when things go wrong, you can kind of have solutions, and it'll give you the tools so when your husband's being difficult, you know how to react to that. Because I know a part of you must be hurting with the way he's treating you and so on. You understand?
He's a nice person. I'm not saying he's bad. He's not violent. He's not, but I just feels like if we have to share the responsibility, it's not because I feel, when you say you plan, how
Mm-hmm.
much are we going to spend for groceries in a
Mm-hmm.
month and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and he's not falling in line. Like let's put $1,000 for groceries every month, for example, and he's not doing it. Even when you tell him, he just goes and do something else. He's not a young guy, and you cannot change You cannot change. When you can't change somebody,
Yeah, I
you cannot
understand.
change. You cannot change somebody.
So
But the only thing I
start
want to
building
prove to
yourself.
him is that, yeah.
Start
So
building
I want to
yourself.
build what I want to do is build myself. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I build myself, he sees what I'm doing and he sees that these things I'm doing is working.
Mm-hmm.
And then his mind is going to change. That's because I want to live by example. I don't want to live by,
Just words.
yeah. So
Okay,
it's not enough, yeah.
so Praise,
So that's why I'm
let's
looking
make a
for every
plan here,
side
right?
gig for, yeah,
Let's
please.
make a plan here, right? Because more money is not going to
Okay.
help you, right? But more money is not the answer here.
Okay.
Personally, I want you to follow a budget. Your budget is
Okay.
going to be, right? Listen here. You have shelter, utilities, groceries, transportation. Those are just your expenses. Now, if your husband is not willing to listen to you and how you want to do things, that's fine. But you shouldn't be having to pay something that you don't want, right? Now, the big thing is I want you to save your first $1,000 and you have that money in cash in a separate account. So that way you don't touch it. This money has a name. It has a job. It's called emergency, right?
Okay.
Once you have that money there, the next step is going to be you start paying off your debts. That means, for example, you pay the car loan and you pay the credit cards. Pay the credit cards first. Now, the big question is, right? Praise, you consider selling this car. Look into a website called Kelly's Blue Book. Okay? That website is going to tell you exactly what the current market. Kelly's Blue Book.
Is it Blue Book?
Yeah, like a blue book. So Kelly Blue Book. Yeah, so that website right there is going to tell you exactly what the average market value is for that car. If the car loan is, let's say, $13,000 or like $12,000, and you can sell that car for $14,000 or even $10,000 and just owe $3,000 on it, consider it.
So, but when I consider it, am I paying back the bank?
So when you sell the car,
when
you sell the car, you talk to the bank first. Say, hey, I want to sell this car. So the process is, whenever you sell the car, the bank makes a deal basically with the other person, and once they have the money, they'll basically transfer the deed over to that person. They release the deed over to that person, basically the title. Okay, so you can sell a car. It doesn't matter if somebody else owns it. So that's the first step. So by the end of the first step is, you have, for example, a beater car. And by the way, beater car, you can buy a car in Albany for $500, $1,000. Is it going to be the best car? The answer is no, but it'll take you from point A to point B, right? Now, by this step, you're debt free. You also have $1,000. Next step is going to be, you go out.
Wait. If I sell this car, for example, I'm giving an example. I sell this car for, let's say, $13,000 or $14,000, right?
Mm-hmm. The remaining balance is going to be on you.
And no, because I'm still paying, I'm still owing like 13,000 or 12,000. Sorry.
How much do you owe on it?
I'm owing 12,000.
12,000 on it.
Yes.
So if you sell it for 13, you didn't buy it cash.
I've already paid. Yeah, I already paid 13.
That's fine.
So if I sell, where is the money for the car that I will use to be going around? Where is it going to come from?
You need to save. You save for it.
How do I move? How do I go to work? My work is like 20 minutes from here.
Okay, hear me out here, right? So
you
can use this car right now currently to get you extra income. Because once you have this very fixed budget, you'll have extra money left over. If you have people in Nigeria, you say, hey, I have a goal. I can send you this much this month. That's all I can do. So you should have a little bit left over more than just $500 per month. And if you have a budget where you just follow these strict rules and you don't buy anything else, you save the rest. Your first month, I want you to save that first $1,000. The second month, you save another $1,000. With $1,000, potentially, you could buy a beater car and then sell the other car. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
You can check Facebook Marketplace. Before you buy any car, whatever car it is, you take it to Advanced Auto Parts first. They'll give it a full checkup or a mechanic, make sure the car is running perfectly and everything is fine with the car. Okay?
Okay.
Then you sell the other car. If the car is worth $13,000, but you owe on it $14,000, you'll owe the difference. You pay that. Okay, that your first step is to pay debt and get rid of it. Now I want you, when you're not working in the salon because you don't have any customers, I want you out there doing Uber Eats or delivering pizzas or whatever it takes.
I'm not working in the salon. The customers, they come to me.
Okay, so when you don't have any customers, because they're probably pre-booked for you, right? When you're not working with customers, then you go out there and you start doing another job because you need cash. Once you're debt free, the next step is you save a full emergency account. An emergency account is basically you're gonna have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So if you spend $1,000 per month on average, you need $3,000 in that account right there. So in case anything happens, you have 3 months to cover anything. This will be so much faster, but I understand the situation. Once you're done there, you start investing, right? By the way, how much money do you currently have in investments?
2,000 plus.
Okay. So then that's also another option to ask yourself, right? If you understand what you invested in.
Let's say 2,000 plus, because my Bitcoin is like, in fact, I started Bitcoin back in Nigeria. I bought Bitcoin. I paid 80, let's say less than $100 to start my Bitcoin. That Bitcoin right now is like $400 and something in that account, because it goes up and down. You know how that means. Then
if you don't understand what you're investing into, and be honest here, you can sell those investments and you can use that money to save the $1,000, and then easier to buy the car right away. So now you have those things. Does that make sense? Because if you don't understand what you're investing into and it just has the money in there and you have a profit, that just means you got lucky. There's a difference.
Okay.
All right, because it just makes sense. If you don't understand it, you'll understand index funds. It's very simple to understand. But if you don't understand what a balance sheet is, what an income statement is, what a cash flow statement is, what intrinsic value is, what a K10 form is, a 10Q form, if you don't understand those things, then you shouldn't be investing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I shouldn't. I don't understand. Like,
Yes.
if I don't know about all these things, I shouldn't do any kind of trading.
No, exactly. Because trading, you know Warren Buffett, the richest guy when it comes to investing?
Yes, I know Warren Buffett.
He can look at a company and know exactly what that company is worth per share. Not based on the market price, but based on what that company actually has as far as assets and competition around it. Because as an investor, you're valuing a company. When you buy something just because it's Bitcoin or just because it's a company you like, you're not buying based on any facts, so you're running this massive risk. Does that make sense?
When I started trading, I don't know if that's the right thing, but I have just like I follow you on YouTube, I have someone in YouTube, Chris Shane, that I follow, that does trading and explains a lot about trading and what to buy and what not to buy and invest. I just felt like if I put my money in my account, so far it's not like I'm losing money, because I have interest in those monies that I've put in my trading accounts. But I'm just feeling that if I put the money, leave it in savings, that money is not going to generate any income.
It doesn't have to generate income, because that money is going to be for emergencies and for a purpose. You understand me? Because just when it's generating you income, it's also generating you potential risk of losing everything, because you don't really understand it. Because if the only way you can invest is based on somebody else's information, that's not really investing, because you don't understand investing. Does that make sense? It's like I can only cook when I watch my mom do it. But if I'm not watching her, I can't cook. Can you really cook? The answer is no. Because you don't know how things actually work. The same thing with investing. I only know about investing because I watched this person. My teaching method, I don't know the guy, by the way, no shade here, but my teaching method is to try to teach you how to do things, so you know how to do it and you don't need me. My goal is to make sure that by the end of all my conversations, which you don't have enough time here, but that you don't need me ever again. I want to teach you how to do things. I want to teach you how everything works. That's what I do.
Okay.
So
thank you very much.
Once you're done, for example, with the building the emergency account. By the way, if you sell these investments, that's $2,000 You use, for example, $400 something to pay off all your debts, or like $1,000. You build the emergency account of $1,000. Then you can have to consider like, hey, I'm gonna save money to buy my car. Once you have $2,000 in there, you can say, I'm gonna buy this car, I'm gonna sell this car, and so on and so on. Potentially whatever you want to do. Okay. Once you're done with the car situation, because it takes you to work, I understand that. You build a full-blown emergency account, 3 to 6 months worth of money in there. Once you're done with that, you go on to, hey, I'm gonna start investing 10 to 20% of my income into index funds that I actually comprehend, right? That means, for example, into your Roth IRA or with your employer's 401k or 403b plan. Okay, you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, you do that. Just 10, 20%. The money has a purpose. The money that's saved up for emergencies, the purpose there is not to make you money, it's to give you security in case anything goes wrong. And then the next step after that is to work towards basically paying off your mortgage. But in this case, you don't feel comfortable because basically your husband doesn't have you on the deed, right? So that's the conversation you're gonna have to have. Because once the mortgage is paid off and you have no mortgage, that's your biggest expense. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
So the goal is, while you're paying off the mortgage faster, you're saving up you're investing 10, 20% of your money. So that's growing. So by the time you're done with your mortgage, well, you also have a good chunk of money also in your investment account. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Another thing to consider that I did not mention here is using some of your money to just invest into better skills. You know, your husband can make $4,000, but it's because the skill he knows can make him that much money. If you learn about nursing, take a course on that, it takes 2 years, you can potentially be making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per month. And then you have a lot more wiggle room.
Yeah. I've told him about the CNA course. I'll start from there.
How old are you, Praise?
And me?
Yeah.
I'm 43. November this year.
Okay, 43 years old. Let's say in 3 years you're done with you like nursing?
No, I don't want to be a nurse.
Okay, so you got to pick something that you actually like. You look for 3 things, okay? Something you like, something you're good at, and something that's going to make you a good amount of money.
Yes, that's why I'm going for the CNA course. I
CNA?
already put that in my book. Yeah, because I love patient care. I don't want to be a nurse. Okay. I just love the patient care. And I can go to my days off. I can do work with an agency that does refer me to.
How much do they make per month? How much do they make on average per year?
Who?
CNAs.
CNA?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. It depends. For my hospital, they pay very low. I think they're the lowest paid hospital in I don't know if in New York. Per hour they're paying me $71.
$17?
$13.71.
13?
Yeah.
Yes, that's ridiculous. So
you see,
want...
so that's the reason why I know you will not you will not understand. But the deal is, I want to take a course on that CNA so I can do private jobs, like go to homes, and I'm already on that to start the course with Red Cross. They do CNA courses. And
then how much money can you make per month on that? How much do you get paid per hour on average?
$15. $15.
$14, $15. How much is the course?
Yeah. The course is $1,200.
Okay. So if you like that and you want to do that, great. But what I would recommend is, this is what I tell anybody that wants to do something different, is you make a list of the top 10 jobs that you would love to have. And you do all the research on them as possible. You cross off until you have only 3 left, and then you decide exactly which one you want to do based on all the information that you actually gathered. Because $15 is minimum wage in the Bronx. All right. So it's all about, again, but if you like it and you did all your research and all the other possibilities out there, because there's other things, not just nursing, that can make you a good amount of money, you want to do all your research basically and find out exactly what's going to be the best thing for me based on what I've found so far. And then you pick one.
Okay.
All right. Praise. I wish I had more time with you. Has been a great
I know
conversation.
you've done more than I even expected. You've
Mm-hmm.
given me so much insight than I expected, and I'm very grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem,
Thank
Praise.
you,
Welcome
thank
to
you,
the
thank you
long-term
so much.
team. These calls, Paige, are not a one-time. Praise are not a one-time thing. So if you wanna call back after you get things in order and so on, you can feel free to schedule another call, and I'll gladly return the call. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
wish you
Thank
a
you.
very good day, good evening. Thank you so much. God
You
bless.
you
Thank
you also have a long life.
you. Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right. Peace out. All right, guys. So that right there was praise. And why did I say have a long life? I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. Okay. But overall, honestly, it's complicated when you have someone on your team that maybe is not on the same page. It's very important you're on the same page to make sure that everything is in order. But not everything in life is always like a Disney princess song. So you kind of got to get things how you got to get things. In this situation, what would I do? It would just be so difficult. It would have to be have conversations. I would have to work on myself and build myself up. And then the big difference is that eventually that might build up to tension and also a disconnect in the relationship. But then again, I'm not a doctor. So I recommend you speak to a counselor about this. That's why I recommend, hey, go to marriage counseling, go yourself and figure out exactly what to do here. People usually neglect these things, but they can be very helpful and very important. Well, guys, comment down below. Let me know, what would you do in a situation? But overall, raise your income is going to be very important. Controlling your expenses are going to be very important. Investing in the things you understand is going to be very important. Increasing your knowledge of investing is going to be very important. Protecting your wealth is going to be very important. Having boundaries with your family back in Nigeria is going to be very important. All these things are so important. I wish I had more time to talk to these people, but I just don't. But I will make a course, I will make consultation, I will do something to kind of have the ability to talk to you guys longer and longer and get to the bottom of these issues, guys, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. If you guys want to call me next time, join me right here. Description is down below. Click that link right there and schedule a call, and I'll call you basically when you schedule the calls are free, by the way, Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern is New York time, if you guys don't know. On top of that, if you guys want to DM me on Instagram, DM me right here at Tommy Bryson. Thanks for watching. More content like this right here. Click my face right here. And as always, peace.